G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on Rocky River to witness two Conqueror 3 players go head to head on this lovely map. Now, these aren't just any Conqueror 3 players. Of course, you'll be familiar with one of them. The second one you might not be familiar with, but I assure you, a very strong player, sitting at about 2k rating, which is damn well high. Let's get into it and introduce our players on the south side of the map in the color purple, playing as the Abbasid dynasty. It's Corvinus 1, aka Salami, aka the Wallalol God. And on the north side of the map in the color red, playing as the Holy Roman Empire, it's Blidge. I'm very tempted to call this guy Bridge, but I don't want to disrespect him like that. But it kind of reminds me, there was a singer, I mean, I'm sure there probably still is a singer, Mary J. Was it Mary J. Blige? I don't know, but I'm just kind of being reminded of that. Bit of a weird name. I don't know what it means. I'm hoping that it doesn't mean something like really obscurely bad. But did you guys see that? Did you? Okay. I think the reason why is because he's seen the red scout. Yeah, this is super smart. He's seen the red scout here, and he knows that if the red scout comes down, he's gonna pick up that sheep. So basically, instead of him getting the sheep, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill this sheep just to guarantee that he doesn't get it. My enemy doesn't get it. Smart move there by Corvinus, but in the end, it actually costs him 250 food. So sometimes you get him, and sometimes you get got. Today, it looks like Corvinus was the one who got. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup, though. This matchup, of course, is a good old classic matchup. I've always enjoyed this one a lot, because to me, it feels like, as the Abbasid dynasty, it's your job to try and keep the Holy Roman Empire player in the Castle Age. As the Holy Roman Empire player, it's your job to get to the Imperial Age. And it's difficult, because when you get to the Imperial Age, your goal is simple, right? I'm going to get a Palace of Swabia. Normally, I'm going to put it down on my wood line, and I'm going to get an outpost, and I'm going to put a cannon emplacement in there. The problem is, against the Abbasid, typically what you see coming out of them is going to be cavalry units. You're going to see horsemen, you're going to see camel riders. Those are, or camel archers? Camel archers. That's what you're typically going to be seeing, and they don't clump up nearly as much as infantry does, which means it's a bit more difficult, I guess it's a bit more difficult. It's slightly more difficult to kill those units. The cavalry units with that cannon emplacement. It's less effective, essentially, is the point I'm trying to make. But have a look at this. Hold your horses, Drongo. We on the trade wing right now, baby. I love to see this. Have a look at this. Now, keep in mind, this is a ladder game. This is a 2K rated game. These guys are really good. So Conqueror starts at 1400, Conqueror 2 at 1500, and Conqueror 3 at 1600 rating. So not only are these guys 1600 rating, they're 17, 18, 19, 2K. So that's like four Conqueror 3 plus. I kind of wish they gave ranks above Conqueror 3, because at this point, I mean, I appreciate that a lot of people are still, grinding away, but to me, it doesn't feel like once you get Conqueror 3, I just feel like, is there much more to do to do in the game? Like, no, I don't mean it in that way, but what I mean is, like, I want a reason to grind. Like, even in League of Legends, once you get Challenger, I can still grind because I've got that LP grind that's happening, and I'm moving up the ladder. And I guess it's probably similar here in that regard. But I don't know, maybe because it's in the client, it feels a little bit better. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of psychology behind it as to why in Age of Empires 4 I don't feel as inclined to grind. But have a look at this slowly on the south side of the map. There's no way. There's no way. There ain't no way. No. Imagine if Get out. Okay, we're gonna need to check the perspective here of Blidge, because there ain't no way you're spotting a villager right there. Okay, if I'm Blidge right now, I'm feeling really good. You want to know why I'm feeling good? Wait, why is he walling? Blidge going for trade as well? Excuse me? No. Why are you walling up here, Blidge? You should not be walling. If anything, you should be going straight to Castle Age. Do not cross past go. Do not collect $200. It is straight to Castle Age for you, my friend. No. Don't. I mean, this is fine, to be honest. Like, he can definitely take a pit stop here, as long as the goal still remains I get to Castle Age and I collect the relics, because that's what it should be. For me, for Blidge, it seems to be very clear. We go Castle Age, we make knights, we look to disrupt the enemy trade. The only thing to note, though, is that with the Abbasid dynasty, they do have some very good spears. So making knights against them can be a little bit counterintuitive, but I assure you, it does definitely make sense. Trade is now going to be coming through. We do see he has switched up the trade, the native trade post for these guys, and they are going to be dropping off some food as well. So already picking up that unique trading technology that allows you to choose whether you want some food, whether you want some wood. You used to be able to choose whether you got stone. They were the good days. Can't do that anymore. And have a look at the size of this wall that's coming in. Not only is he walling in the trading post, or rather walling in the trading route, he's going to be walling in the relic. Really nice move here. Let's check in on that top side of the map as Vils are moving into the middle of the map. Oh, he's looking to wall relics. A very smart move here. And see, now you can see that Blidge has made the right call. Why has he made the right call? Because now he's going to be able to interrupt these Vils from walling in the relics. And see, now you can see like how it develops in my head. It's like, okay, well, you know, he is clearly... this is not his first rodeo. We'll say this much. Blidge has definitely done a little bit of horse riding before. He's got the cavalry out here, but it looks like we might have ourselves a little bit of fun. Villager number 1 will be going down. I was a bit curious what these vills were going to be doing, but I've already got my answer. Now, you might also hear in my voice, I've got a little bit of a, I don't know what it's called, like a nasally twang going on in there. I'm sick at the moment. My whole family's sick at the moment. It's not fun being sick, but it is one of those parts of life. But why does he throw the Palisade Gate down of all the things? Looks like this field's going to be going down as well. So Corvinus is going to be off to a bit of a shaky start here, losing 2 workers. Now, keep in mind, there is a third relic on the top side, yet to be scouted out by Blidge. Has been scouted out by Corvinus. We don't see any movement in that direction just yet. Traders are out, though. I'm going to compliment Blidge right now because he identified, you know what? I'm going to go for a stable here, and I'm going to look to disrupt my enemy. I'm going to look to try and get horsemen out on the field. He does that already with great success in the fact that he's been able to deny these relics from being walled in. But not only that, he also denies the villager, kills the villager. So he's got himself quite an advantage. And look at this beautiful timing from Blidge. Corvinus, 1, in a little bit of trouble, puts the scout in, says, you ain't walling this bad boy off. I want to get that relic. I want to get behind these walls. Now, one of the other things he can do is he can actually look to drop that sheep right here and then kill the sheep while it's sitting in that spot. Makes it very hard to wall over that position. You have to do a bit of a fork in it, but it looks like we might have this camel going down. Indeed, it will be the case, and it's going to be horseman camel coming through here for Corvinus, so no real surprise there. We did allude to that earlier, that it would be some combination of fast-moving units, but now on the backside, Trader slowly getting harassed down by the horseman. There are reinforcements on the way here as the secondary horseman comes through for Corvinus. I think he should be able to, at the very least, pick up the Trader. He's going to try his best to get a surround on this horseman. Manages to get it, takes them out, still secures up this position, and continues hitting after those, or hitting those traders. There's plenty of traders out here. 3, 4, 5. That was number 6 that went down. I think he might have another one. No other one. But doing a great job here, just keeping the enemy trade route down. So doing a really smart move here. So I think upon moving into Castle Age, once the knights are out, Blidge is going to be in a really good spot. Mary J. Blige? I can't remember the exact name. And we look at this. He's on the money already. We see the prelate was in position to pick up the relic. This was his only prelate, by the way. He didn't pre-build prelates, even though he could be building prelates right now. He's not, but we do have double knights coming out. So a little bit of a miss macro here on his part. We're 9 minutes into the game. I was going to switch it over to income per minute, but I think we might leave it for a little bit longer. First relic is back. It always feels good getting that early relic in. You know what they say, the early prelate gets the relic. At this stage, Vils are going to come back out here, and this is always a bad thing. This is a really, really bad thing when you're playing as the Holy Roman Empire, just because what it's going to mean is you're going to need to make more units than what you would like. Ideally, in this situation, you want to be making maybe 5, 6 knights and then going to Imperial, and you want to be doing that with at least 3 to 4 relics. You're not going to be able to do that if these relics get walled in, like they are going to be walled in here with Corvinus. And the reason why is simple. It's because you need to make more units so that you can siege down those walls. But already we can see he might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew. Camel numbers are starting to improve. Prelate's definitely going to go down. There's no two ways about it. Always the difficult thing to collect, or when collecting relics. Now, another thing to note is he still hasn't spotted out this this relic towards the top side. This one was a free pickup. This was a gimme. He's going to fall back with the knight. 14 health. Beautiful control coming through. 9 health on that knight. Should be able to survive and make its way back towards the town center without too much of a hassle, I suspect. 9 health. 4 health. One more hit. Let's have a look and see whether the town center is going to be able to do it. He jumps inside and says, I'm keeping you alive. Prelate should be able to get really good value on that. Second knight definitely going to be going down, but camel numbers starting to rise, and this is where it always gets a little bit scary. Once these camels are out, even though they don't do particularly well against knights, once they're in decent number, which we start to see now, that's when it can be really, really difficult. Spears also looking to join the battle, but Corvinus is maintaining a decent control here. Let's switch it over to income per minute, get a bit of an idea on where these players are at. So behind the scenes, Corvinus does have quite a bit of food being gathered. 17 vils on the food at the moment. And we do see another wall coming through. So he's managed to wall the first relic. Second relic is currently being walled. Third relic towards the north also being walled. Fourth relic down the bottom is also being walled. Now remember, he didn't have the flashiest of early games. He lost a lot of workers. We saw multiple vils go down. We saw traders go down. So he's definitely behind the 8 ball when it comes to his transition into the mid game so far in this game. A little bit of a knight getting caught out of position, but slowly the numbers are improving. And have a look at this. We also see veterancy on the horseman coming in for Blige, which definitely is the right call. He wants to be moving into that direction, but we do now start to see he could get dragged into playing out a Castle Age game, and that's not what he wants. He wants to get Imperial. The sooner you get Imperial, the better it's going to be, because that's how you're going to catch up to your enemy if they're trading. Normally in this situation, we'd say, oh, look at that timing. Look at that unfortunate timing. The wall gets completed right as that villager goes down. Now, normally in this situation, you'd expect maybe a 2 TC coming out from the Abbasid player, but in this circumstance, it is going to be that trade. You can see beautiful little walls coming up that are going to be able to keep all these traders nice and safe, going to guide them safely down along that wall, along that edge. But normally the way that you want to make up the difference between those two, that being the secondary town center or the trade, and your 1 TC, in the short term, it's relics. In the long term, it's Swabia. So we need to get to Swabia. It's a really, really big point. And you can see at this stage, Blige is a little bit worried. He's a little bit flustered. He's losing prelates. He's not really able to pick up too many of these relics. He's still only got the 1 to his name. And that's largely because he failed to scout this relic out. Obviously, we've got Omnivision. We know it's there, but not only did we know it's there, we also knew that Corvinus wasn't really contesting it early on. So a little bit of, you know, I'm not going to say it was a mistake on his part, but definitely, you know, suboptimal scouting when it comes to finding that 5th relic. Camel numbers really starting to rise here. They're going to get some decent charges off. Spears in the back. He's going to need to try and look to pick them off. Speaking of getting picked off, we see one of those lancers or knights being taken out. And look at the camels, how much damage they're able to do as the prelates getting taken out. Once again, he's lost 5 prelates already this game. That's a lot of prelates. And now the knights just getting eaten alive. Look at this. Corvinus won his opponents in Castle Age. He's in the Feudal Age, but I tell you what, he's looking very strong at this stage of the game. It might even be a good idea. See, you want to move into man-at-arms here, but you can't because of the camels. He can just kite you. Vils get taken out. He's lost quite a few workers here as well. Up to 5 workers now lost. He's going to continue picking off. That's 6. Could look for more. Camels, numbers are still decent. And horsemen are going to make a lot more sense here. But the problem is you can't really go horsemen when there's spears in the mix, because the spears just absolutely destroy the horsemen. The knights have got very high base damage. They don't have bonus damage against anything. Whereas the horsemen, they've got low base damage, but high bonuses against these ranged units. The camel archers, so the spears do particularly well against them just because of that effective trade. But there's the age up on the other side of the map. It's going to be the military wing coming through now for Corvinus 1. We're right on board with him as his military mass has somewhat evened out here. Continues to rally more units in, and I gotta say, I love this composition from him. Spear Camel feels incredibly versatile, especially when you're playing it into a Castle Age opponent like that. The main thing you gotta be worried about is that man-at-arms switch. Now, there is probably a world here where Blige could have gone into like a, I think if he played into a Burgrave, there's a good chance he could have just run over the top of Corvinus, but he didn't. And that's the that's the important thing to note. But he didn't. And we can obviously say that with 20/20 hindsight because our vision is perfect. And even though I do wear glasses, it's still pretty good in hindsight. But yeah, at this stage of the game, I think the most important thing is trying to get into the enemy trade line. One thing to note though is that Corvinus has got some pretty decent walls coming up here. Still a hole in the front of the base, but it almost feels like this is something that he could have been doing. Blige. It's like a ridge, right? Ridge, but with a B on the front and an L. So ideally what he wanted to do was start getting behind those lines a little bit earlier because he has been fighting, but you got to remember that when you're fighting, you're keeping the enemy happy because you're on their side, or they're on your side of the map. You want to try and push the fight onto their side of the map, make them chase the units around, and you can see now it's quite easy for Corvinus to just safely wall off this front. He's completely walled off now. He knows that his trade is going to be safe. He's got plenty of traders out here as well. He's up to 19 traders, which is a huge amount of traders. He is living the good life. I think right now for Blidge, it's hard because you kind of want to go into range units to deal with the hardened spearmen, but you go into range units, you're not going to be able to contest these relics because of the walls. The walls aren't really that effective, effectively taken out by a couple of archers. We'll say that much. All right, well, slowly and steadily, the spears chase around the enemy cavalry. Let's check back in with Blidge and see how he's doing on that north side. Huge transition over to farms. How's he doing on upgrades? No fertilization just yet. Obviously has that horticulture upgrade starting to rally out. There's the men-at-arms finally joining the field, and that's going to help him out. I suspect that crossbows should be on the course soon here for Corvinus. Alternatively, he can just keep it up with the cavalry. And where's the prelate? There's no prelate that was rallied out here. Surely there's a prelate. There's the prelate. It's a little bit slow out of the gates. I'm worried that he's not going to get this relic. I'm fearful that by the time the prelate gets over here, enemy forces are going to be in position, and this relic will be denied. I haven't pre-watched this game, but something tells me that's going to happen. It's one of those things where pre-building your prelates has such a significant impact throughout the game, and I think he may have realized that and said, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. And there we go. There's the camels. Plenty of units out over here. Spear's going to be running in. Keep in mind, he does have that hand, or that extra hand axe. A little bit of extra damage. Meanwhile, in the back line, Camel's doing a decent job. He is getting torn apart, though, slowly and steadily by these camels. +2 ranged armor has come in. There's the heavy maces. Not really going to make much of a difference in this fight. Not a lot of heavy units, with the exception of the lancers that are ripping him to shreds. But the numbers are still very decent here for Corvinus 1. So despite losing those early villager kills, those early traders, he still manages to maintain a healthy mass throughout this game. And this is just, this is the consequence. There's a couple of reasons why it's gone down this way, but I can't help but feel like without transitioning into early Imperial in this game, like we're at 17 minutes now, he should ideally be Imperial by now. How can he possibly catch up to Corvinus? Corvinus, not only does he have control of the relics, but he's also got trade, which is incredibly potent once you get to this stage of the game, because now we're talking about our Castle Age. Gosh, sorry, give me a second here, guys. I'm just having a little bit of a what's the word? A fit? A seizure? Nah, I'm all good. Mental blank. There we go. It's the upgrades. Jeez, where are you going? Drongo, take a swig. All right, give me a sec, guys. I got some apple juice here. I'm just gonna take a swig. Man. How good does apple juice hit? We were talking about water in the last video. How good is apple juice, though? Like, when you get some of that... this is a problem that I've got in Australia. In Manila, or in the Philippines, you don't have this problem. In Australia, they've got, like, healthy, right? Like, everything's getting healthy. So you get apple juice, and it's got no added sugar. You get orange juice, it's got no added sugar as well. And it just tastes like... It's really watered down. That's what it tastes like to me. Whereas, like, the apple juice in the Philippines, dude, that's, like... Imagine, like, they're asking you, would you like some apples with your sugar? It's 94% sugar, 6% apple. That's what you're drinking. And it's great, as a sweet tooth, you love that. But you know what you don't love? You don't love it when the Lanch Connector doesn't have any counter in here. As long as those camels are able to focus them down, you can see he's just kind of chilling out on the back. Horseman managed to come through. Nice little surrounding here. Not terrible. Manages to bait out the emergency repairs. Able to now take down the outpost. I don't see a springled or hear a springled emplacement on it. Horseman at the back, able to get picked off by the spears. Men-at-arms towards the front, able to crush through. He's going to be focusing down the battering ram. A little bit of a curious decision. Could have brought Vils up to take these down. Instead, the Camel's going to be able to focus them down. You can see a fair bit of damage getting done. More Men-at-arms now being rallied towards that front side. Camel's on the back. Still slowly but steadily picking off those Men-at-arms, but he will be able to hold. But remember, even if he holds this fight, I don't feel like he's winning the game. And you already know the reason why. It's because there is no Swabia. If we don't have Swabia, if we don't have relics, we don't have a victory. There's no victory condition for us. All we're doing right now is we're surviving. We need to be thriving. That is the difference with the Holy Roman Empire. That is the difference with the Gigachads. You need to thrive. Let's take a look and see how those economies are starting to stack up here. Corvinus sitting at about, oh my lord, look at that economy, 2,400, 3,900. income per minute compared to his opponent sitting barely under 2.5k, 2.6k maybe on a good day. It's a big difference in economies, and of course, largely attributed to that trade advantage that we see. 31 traders on the field now. Also starting to pick up the relics. We can see Imams moving onto the field. Crossbow's going to get taken out, and Blidge going to be surviving a little bit longer as the walls come up, but you've just got to ask that question. What's your win condition here, Blidge? I mean, even best case scenario, let's say, okay, you gather up 900 stone, you throw a keep down here, you manage to get Swabia, you plonk it down here, your enemy's going to be so far ahead of you, they've got infinite gold. I don't really know the answer to that. Not to mention also the fact that they've got access to the culverin, so even if it comes down to like a siege war, which is typically what the Holy Roman Empire loves, then they're still going to have answers to that. Then you're not going to be able to outcap them on things like springalds. It's a tough spot coming out of this from the Holy Roman Empire. I don't know what he could have done differently this game. I think the biggest thing probably would have just been more aggression towards his enemy rather than looking to play defensively. Other than that, like scouting that 5th relic, that would have been it. Nice little shot onto the backside. I've lost my screen's gone. Oh gosh, where are we? Here we go. There we go. I fixed it. Mangonel's gone down. I apologize. In the middle of the fight, Mangonel goes down, and Men-at-Arms slowly but steadily getting crushed. You can see the Lancers here just doing so much damage. They do have their heavy maces, but they're just going to be such a good front line for this back line here. Crossbow numbers are starting to rise as well. Camels continue, and you've just got to feel so disheartened right now as the Holy Roman Empire. Your only win conditions. Where do you even go from here? Do you just stall out the game? Is that pretty much it? That could be it. Maybe if you stall it out behind a keep, you could somehow manage to do it, but the economy is just going to be so different, so vastly different in this. I don't see how we could possibly do it. He does have a good farm transition. I guess that's the other thing to note. So maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but the numbers are starting to look good here for Corvinus. He's up about 10 military pop. Only Men-at-Arms being pumped at the moment. Nothing on the back line. I'd love to see maybe a couple of archers mixed in here to help him out. Mango, another one going to be coming through. A little bit of a hole in the wall, but he does manage to get it up on all sides of the base. Just that front that's open at this stage. 3 bills going to be brought forward here. But even then, there's just so many units getting pumped, and we can see across the map rallying. Now with the Gulams going to start joining the battle as well. Once these crossbow numbers start to rise, and once these Men-at-Arms start getting one shot, I don't know how you're going to be dealing with that. Mangonel number 2 now coming out. He's going to look to siege down that single piece of wall that is yet to be constructed. Nice Mango shot, though. Hits 2 for 3. Not bad at all. Another Mango shot. Manages to hit a couple of crossbows, but I tell you what, this is starting to look more and more like it might be Corvinus 1's game. Vil's going to be pulled, trying to take out this Mango. He's actually having a pretty decent time repairing this one up. Look at the damage that's coming through. He's repairing it, but it's not going to be enough. So many Vils trying their best to get that one up, but unable to do so. Slowly backing away into the base. Lance is going to be on the chase. Horsemen looking to continue cleaning up, but now there's been a real shift in what the enemy composition is. A lot more Gulams, a lot more Lancers here, looking to utilize some of that gold. And have a look at the resources. It's not even going to matter. Ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely it. We will catch you in the next game. Make sure you go check out Corvinus 1. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch him live over on Twitch. A hell of a player. If you enjoyed this game, make sure you leave a like, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.